Yes, love your job. I guess, what is it? The old saying goes, uh, if you love what you do, you never have to work a hard day in your life, or something to that effect. This is by the way, this is a S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist. I thought I had Willie Lumpkin, the Lego character, but I think that's in Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, possibly. So we're going to go get a delivery truck. So this morning, I was looking at the news this morning, or Monday morning by the time you're seeing this. So Monday morning, there was some news that a woman in her 20s, I guess, I don't know if she was ethnic, she looked ethnic, like at least Mexican, Cuban, Puerto Rican, I don't know, Indian, possibly. And she's a UPS delivery driver. So she went. So there was a conflict between this young woman who's no, I'm sorry, she was an Amazon Prime driver. Let me get that correct. So there was a conflict between this Amazon Prime driver, delivery driver, and a 67-year-old woman, white woman. Okay, and this was in Castro Valley, east of San Francisco, California, Northern California. So this happens, right? You have a conflict between these two people, and the woman, the white woman, the 60-year-old woman, got a notification that she got her package. So what I'm going to do right now is, this is Lego Avengers, by the way, Lego Marvel's Avengers for the 3DS. We're going to do some deliveries, or just drive around the city. So the woman got a notification on her phone that her package got delivered from Amazon. I guess if you get Amazon Prime, you get truck drivers coming to your house. I am in my neighborhood. I mean, like after the United States Postal Service and UPS, FedEx, DHL, you got Amazon Prime. I think Amazon Prime is just ahead of DHL, but still behind FedEx. So she got a notification that she got her box. She went out there to check. I'm looking at the article and I watched the video along with it. She checked it and she didn't get anything. She was waiting. There was a driver who said, well, it's coming in about 15 minutes. I don't know what to tell you, like to that effect. So the white woman, the client was like, well, I don't know, like what's taking so long, because I got the notification. Well, let's see, is that a delivery truck? Let me see. Oh, it's too late. Let me see if that is. We're gonna find a delivery truck and see if we can use it. Those look like ambulance. No, we need a delivery truck. So the woman just said, eventually she said, check your white privilege. And the white woman says, well, you don't have to be so mean about it. Like out of nowhere, she just said, check your white privilege. Now, the news could be not telling the whole truth. Maybe she said something to her. But it was a little rude that she got the notification that her package came and that it didn't actually come in. So they essentially lied to her. This is not a delivery truck. That's an ambulance. We need a delivery truck. Let me see if I can find one. We're going to have the scientist drive around the city, but mostly he's walking around the city. This is like one of the hardest things the 3DS can do, is generate a whole city on this system. This is the new 3DS, by the way. So after the woman told the driver, you don't have to be so rude about it. Should we take this one? Let's take this one. Okay, this is a city car. I can't find a delivery truck. There's a bus, there's a taxi here. So we're going to just drive around the city and maybe assault some people. I'm just driving around, just like in Grand Theft Auto. So obviously what you saw in the news was that the ethnic woman, the Amazon Prime driver, proceeded to beat the shit out of the elderly white woman, the 67-year-old woman. So the young lady fought the old lady up for no reason. She stood. So you have one person here, the Amazon driver, and you have the other woman here, and she's turned around, and then she goes and boom, 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 boom. She goes and beats her up. For what? Like, you feel good about yourself? That's why the rest of the world hates us. This basic Neanderthal shit like that. So she got fired. She got arrested for assault, battery. Amazon fired her, obviously, because why would you do something like that? Now, I don't know if the white woman said anything else, to be fair, for a democratic point of view, but it's like, you don't go and assault people. And from what I saw in the video, she didn't appear to have any like severe injuries, but it's hard to tell. But she seemed fine from after the beatdown because she just beat her up, like hit her in the back of the neck, her arms, her head, her face. She just, went everywhere on her. It's just ridiculous. Oh, I hit some people. I'm going to jail for a car assault. Sorry about that. Oops. I'm not doing so well on my delivery here, aren't I? Well, but it's okay because it's a video game. You're not really hurting people. But in real life, you don't want to be doing that. Now, some people, it's hard to relate to the people who got their girlfriend knocked up at 20 or 30. Now you got to be responsible and take a dead-end job to make ends meet. Okay, maybe some people are like that. Maybe some people are paying for college. Maybe some people are too uneducated and have to take this kind of a job in their life. Maybe some people have to do community service or time served. You're doing something you don't like, but understand that you have to love your job, in quotes. That means you don't do something like assault people, harass, threaten people, steal money, spit at people, assault. This is common sense stuff, okay? I had a hard time. When I graduated 4-year from a Cal State University, I went to an internship, and they gave me a hard time. They didn't give me the job I wanted. They mistreated me. It wasn't even paid. I wasn't even getting fucking paid. So what was the point? Do I love this job? Do I love it enough where I'm going to just, want to stay in it? Oh, okay. I'm going to have to crash into this bus here. Sorry, 20 people that were in the bus. So what is it that I want to do in life? I never really knew. My parents harassed me. My sisters harassed me since I was born. So that really lowers your defenses. I remember when my mom gave me a hug. And this was when I was 42 years old. And I was, last year, and I was so mad. I wasn't mad that my mom hugged me. It was like, why didn't you do this sooner? If my dad, who usually used a belt on me instead of helping me get my career path, if he had hugged me, maybe I wouldn't be such an asshole. Maybe I would have 3 million viewers for each video. Maybe I would have 10 million followers. Maybe I'd be somebody, right? As Marlon Brando once said, I could have been a contender. And for this ethnic woman who was the Amazon Prime driver who assaulted the other woman, maybe nobody hugged her. Maybe she had a shitty sex life. Who knows? Maybe she was assaulted and raped as a kid. I don't know. I'm not going to paint a narrative that doesn't exist unless she says something, right? But you take on a job, you got to love your job until you get a new job. You got to understand what it's like. You got to take a job. If you don't have children, you don't have alimony to pay, you're doing this job, but you have a choice to get a better job. You got to love what you're doing. You got to love what you want to do. Whether you're a Marvel's Avenger or just a scientist delivering goods, meth from the meth lab. And honestly, I took on McDonald's jobs, Togo's. I did some job interviews recently. One for crossing guard. I have to take that. With crossing guard, you could be in a position where a car could just hit you as you're raising that stop sign. You're dead. The children might be safe, but you're dead. Well, I mean, that's the risk you take when you do this kind of a job, right? There's a risk with every job. Let me see what that is. That's let me assault this person. Hold on. All right. The cops will get me in a minute. Oh. Crashing into things in the Lego sense. There's not much more I can say about, how you treat people, but make sure the job you're in, you want to stay in. And when it gets stale, you got to get out. Now, it's been tough for the last a year because of the pandemic. Maybe you have to hold on to your job a little bit longer because it's been hard to find work. Right now is the best time because there are people who quit their jobs or ended up losing their jobs and they had to move on, but maybe you can get their jobs. I have a Class C license only, so I couldn't do a delivery job anyway. I'm not good with directions and maps. unless they get a Thomas guide or a GPS. Most people nowadays, they can just get their GPS and just kind of cheat. They don't have to do too much. Financial district. You got to go to the financial district. You got to go everywhere. You got to know these streets. You got to know these names if you're going to do deliveries. But yeah, I don't know what her problem was. I mean, look, she thought her package was coming. You assaulted her because of her race. I mean, like, unless white people attacked you every day, I mean, it's like, who knows? I mean, you could have, Derek Chauvin might have had a black bully who beat him up for his lunch money when he was 7 or 8, and that's been ingrained into his memory ever since, okay? And maybe a white girl assaulted this UPS driver when she was 8 years old or 9 in grade school. Who knows? That's another narrative too. But the things that we do, the things that we work hard for, when you get that paycheck, it feels great. But you could have people, you could be good at something and still not like your job. You know, it's like Elvis Presley. I remember the movie Elvis with Jonathan Rhys Meyers as the title character and Randy Loco Quaid as the Colonel. And I think everybody's in agreement that the Colonel really fucked with Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley wanted out. He didn't want to do that kind of work anymore. He loved singing. He loved shaking the pelvis and all that, but he felt he was moving past that. And the Colonel was like, you're a brand name, you're a brand character, you're on mugs and T-shirts and pens and pencils, and you're a whole corporation of merchandise onto yourself. You're not doing shit. You're not quitting for shit. And Elvis wanted to quit, and the Colonel made him work until he died, and he was depressed. Elvis got fat. Everybody knows the rest of the story. So, like, there was a heated argument between Randy Quaid and Jonathan Rhys Meyers as these characters, and then the next day, Randy Quaid's all nice to him. Oh, well, you know, if you like, you know, like he was nice to him, which reminded me of the way my father was which I believe he hit my mom before I was born, before any of us were born, in the 1960s. Oh, I hit a wall. Can I go through this? Oh, I hit a wall. I can go through everywhere. I think I've reached the town limit there. But, yeah, man. I really hope she gets help. I hope the white lady's okay. I hope any woman or anybody who's a victim of that kind of shit. I still remember this this person that worked for, now I'll tell you a little experience I had secondhand was, okay, so if anybody's familiar with Edison Gas Company, Edison Electricity, they have workers, they have contractors, like blue collars, doing like installing light poles, electricity, telephone poles, right? So this woman climbed over my fence, and I was gonna like stab her or shoot her, like who are you? Because my gates are locked, okay? My gates are always locked. If you're climbing over my gate to knock on my door, you're gonna be in for a world of hurt. Because how did you get over my fence, right? Correct? Yes? So I said, if you don't want to get hurt, you need to go back over my fence right now. You've got like 30 seconds to do that, okay? So she did that. I said, and I told her, I don't need you to be doing that. I saw her companion in the car. I said, I'm not some rival cholo that owes money to one of your high enough friends, okay? That's not how things work. You're a professional. You need to be doing this job professionally. So that pissed me off to a great degree. And then you had workers who came to change the telephone poles, and they came on the wrong fucking day. I could have had guests over the house. I never really do. But they came one day earlier. I said, motherfucker, like 1 day earlier, that makes a difference. You got 20, 30 people climbing over my yard, ripping out the pole. I said, the day needs to be exact, not 1 day later, 1 day earlier. That's ridiculous. It's not that they have to do their job, but they do whatever the fuck they want without regard for private property. So that's really doing your job wrong, okay? That's just secondhand. But learn to love your job. Whether you're a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, don't throw your cats like Alinity did. Don't show titty like Alinity did. Get banned off of Twitch. Whoa, it's turbo boost, baby. Up, gotta go back in the car. So my final thoughts: stick to what you do. Uh, whatever you don't do, do better. And as I get my job, I know I have to be on my. And also too, other incidents, where UPS drivers would throw packages. I had drivers throw packages of my medication over the fence and just tossed it. And I said, I'm not signing for that shit. I'm not signing for people to go and throw my package over the fence and just onto my doorstep. You could have broken something. If a package is marked fragile, I could have your fucking job. I could have your fucking job. If a box is fragile, you just toss it anyway. There are people that did that. I mean, you ever seen those videos where the UPS driver would toss like TVs over the fence? You've seen those, right? And if it's not that, there was a tennis player who got canceled. He lost his sponsors and he got kicked out of a tennis match tournament because he used a racial slur when he was 18 and now he's in his late 20s, early 30s. And there's dumb things like this too where you can lose your job over. If it's not beating somebody up, it's cancel culture. So to any famous people that ever happen to watch this, lock down your Twitter and start cleaning it up. You hear me? Because they'll look for anything, any fucking thing you say wrong, anything. That includes me, as I have to scrub my Twitter. Because if I had said anything wrong, I never used racial slurs or made pedo jokes like James Gunn, but it's like, people will find the 10th offensive thing wrong and have you fired for it. Because they're not happy. And the thing about you cancel culture is one day you will be canceled. I'll close my thought. I'll really close my thought for real by having two basic rituals and rites of bullshitting. Number one is that you call out the bullshit of other people, right? You can call anybody can do that. Oh, he's bullshitting, she's bullshitting, he's bullshitting, right? You call out the bullshit of other people. But then the second rule is you can't bullshit either.